I'm used to having a mouse, but I'll get by here. Okay, so you can see we're at here. Here's the Middle East, and over here where that hand is Europe, and here we have the African peninsula. And up above here is Turkey. And at the very far right of Turkey is Mount Ararat. So we're going to zoom in on there. And when God destroyed the world, there's Mount Ararat right there. And killed every person except Noah and his family. The waters recessed, and they think the boat landed on Ararat. And there's witnesses and sightings over the years that that's where the boat is. And ironically, they won't let you go up on the mountain. The government has a restriction. In fact, that white that you see on the mountain is because those photos are blocked. They don't want anybody zooming in from the satellite. They landed on the ark, and then they got busy. They started building vineyards and farming. I'm reading from Genesis chapter 9, verse 18. Now the sons of Noah, he had 3 sons, who came out of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These 3 were the sons of Noah, and from there the whole earth was populated. And then Noah began farming and planting a vineyard, and he drank of the wine and became drunk. He's had a hard life in the boat, so he's making up for lost time. He got drunk and uncovered himself inside his tent. So he's naked, passed out in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness. So he went in the tent and saw his father naked. And instead of covering up, because love covers the multitudes of sin, and that would have been the loving thing to do, he went and told his 2 brothers outside. And Shem and Japheth, they took a garment and they laid it upon their shoulders and walked backwards so they would not see their father naked. And their faces were turned away, so they did not see their father's nakedness. And when Noah awoke from his wine, he knew what his youngest son had done. And so he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, he shall be to his brothers." He also said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant, and may God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant." So Canaan went to the bottom of the stacking order, and that was his curse. And so they populated the earth, and Canaan moved around and decided that he was going to go west. So he left Mount Ararat, and he came down here to what is known today as Palestine. And there we have the land of Canaan. Now let's go to Genesis 13:11 through 18. And we're going to talk about Abraham. Now, Abraham was a descendant of one of the other 2 brothers, and he came with his father, Terah, from over in the land of Ur. And if we zoom out here on the globe, you'll see that over here in the Middle East, you've got Iraq is right about here, and Iran is over here. So Mount Ararat is up here, and somehow the sons descended and populated over here. So we're going to zoom in on here into the land of Ur, which is in Iraq. It's going to be right down about right here. And Abraham lived in this land, and his father decided that he wanted to go west. And his father actually started heading towards Canaan. So they moved up the land, and they traveled up towards the land of Turkey, because this is where, you see this dark area? That's where all the water is. In fact, if you see right here where the hand is, that's a river. That's the Euphrates River. And right about here it meets the Tigris. And the Tigris River runs up here. So they followed up this way, and when you follow up the Euphrates River, you arrive to this green area. You can't really see it's green right here. And that's the city of Haran, which is still a city today. It's a very, very old city. It's ancient, and it's been around since long before 2000 BC. And it's kind of a fertile area that you can see it's sitting right in here. And then that's where they stayed until they moved from there after Terah, Abraham's fathers, died. And they came down this way. I'm not sure which way they took. And they came down into the land of Canaan. So that's where you get the word the Canaanites. Because in the land of Canaan, you have the Canaanites. They went through Damascus, which is over here. So here you have Palestine. And I'll zoom in a little bit. You have the Mediterranean Sea, and they came down here, and this is where they settled. Here's Jerusalem, where that pin is. This is the Sea of Galilee up here. And then here's the Jordan River and the Jordan Valley, which is very fertile. And then you have the Salt Sea, or the Dead Sea. And somewhere around in here, they settled. So let's read from Genesis 13, 11 through 18. What happened was they were so blessed that Lot and Abraham are so blessed they had to divide. So Abraham says, let's find out what we're going to do here because we can't share. There's not enough land for both of us. So he gave it up to Lot, and Lot chose for himself all the valley of the Jordan. And Lot journeyed eastward, so that's going this way, over to the Jordan Valley, and thus they separated from each other. And Abraham settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled in the cities of the valley, and moved his tents as far as Sodom. And now the men of Sodom were wicked, exceedingly, and sinners against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abraham, so Abraham is back in this region, right about in here. He liked this area. It was called the Negev. So if you've heard of that term, this is the Negev region. And the Lord said to Abraham after Lot had separated from him, now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which you see I will give to you and your descendants forever, and I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if anyone can number the dust of the earth, then your descendants can also be numbered. Arise and walk about the land through its length and breadth, for I will give it to you. And then Abraham moved his tent, he was a tent dweller, and came and dwelt by the oaks of Mamre, which are in Hebron. Hebron is in the Negev, and is located somewhere right about in here. And there he built an altar to the Lord, and probably offered a sacrifice. Now let's go to Genesis 17, 1 through 6. Now when Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said to him, I am God Almighty. Walk before me and be blameless, and I will establish my covenant between me and you, and I will multiply you exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him. I love that. God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be the father of a multitude of nations. No longer shall your name be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham. For I will make you the father of a multitude of nations, and I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings shall come forth from you. Now, during the sojourning of one man, he began to have descendants, and his family began to multiply. And the story goes in the Bible that during the famine, the families had to go south into Egypt for food, where Joseph was sold into slavery.